Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar where SSOE is going to discuss how they use Autodesk Construction Cloud and Cintoo Cloud in their design review process. As a reminder, this webinar will be recorded for future use. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to type those into the Q&A panel and we will answer those at the end of the presentation. So for today's agenda, we're going to start it off with Autodesk Construction Cloud giving us an overview of what they bring. Followed by that will be an introduction to Cintoo Cloud, followed by SSOE giving us a collaborative design review of how they use both these tools to complete their design review processes. After that, we will also follow up with a Q&A. So it is my pleasure to welcome today's guest speakers. So we have Jeremy Wallen from Autodesk, who leads their Strategic Partnerships and Alliances program. We have Dominique Poulkin, who is the CEO and Product Manager of Cintoo. We have Mark LaBelle, who is the Head of Innovation at SSOE. And we have David Kuiper, who is the VDC Technical Lead at SSOE. So from here, we'll kick it off with an introduction to Autodesk Construction Cloud. Jeremy, it's all yours.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining and good to be here. My name is Jeremy. I work on the Strategic Partnerships team for Autodesk Construction Solutions. I wanted to talk a little bit today about Autodesk Construction Cloud, where it came from, and what we are solving. So as you know, a typical construction project is made on multiple teams across all phases of the project lifecycle. Owners, GCs, and subcontractors all use different systems and platforms. In fact, 25% of construction companies use 5 or more different software applications, which makes integration and communication harder and limits project data usage. Communication within a team can happen through various formats, including paper. Actually, more than 70% of the global construction industry is still working from traditional paper-based processes. This is true. This issue has an added layer of complexity when we consider the communication between different teams. Fragmentation of data has a huge and direct impact on the project. Teams are disconnected and working from outdated information due to multiple apps or even the complete lack of digital adoption, leading to wasted time and security issues. On the project level, the disconnection between the office and the field accounts for massive avoidable rework, impacting project costs, quality, delivery time, and profitability. There's a massive impact at the business level as well. Unused and lost project data is hugely reducing potential opportunities. So here's our strategy, which consists of 3 pillars. First, digitization. We are fully enabling the construction business for the digital age. It isn't just about moving off paper, although that's an essential first step. It's about digitizing processes so our customers can enhance the way information is shared through connected devices. No matter where teams are working from, this enables faster and better decisions from a single source of truth. Next, workflow integration. We're bringing business processes together and automating manual workflows across all construction phases. To connect all project data, we're breaking down the data silos that currently exist across financial, bidding, project management, and maintenance systems. That way, our customers can benefit from all data generated throughout the whole project lifecycle. And finally, since we are bringing all this data together and capturing critical information, we enable our customers to leverage data to improve their businesses. This way, they can automatically extract powerful insights and even predict a wide range of issues and risks before they happen. We are optimizing data usage so our customers can deliver projects profitably, safely, and on time every time. From the start, we've always talked about how Autodesk Build is bringing the best of PlanGrid and BIM 360 together, but it's much more than that. It's about addressing feedback and requests we've heard from you and your customers on both PlanGrid and BIM 360. Autodesk Build does not only merge these products, but also extends them with exciting new features. Autodesk Build delivers and represents the unification of best-in-class technology from PlanGrid and BIM 360, along with new functionality to connect construction data and workflows across the headquarters, office, and job site. This all comes together through the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform. Autodesk Construction Cloud connects data from all project phases to support workflows spanning design, plan, build, and operate. Analysis of that data identifies, prioritizes, and resolves problems earlier in the construction lifecycle. Let's take a quick look on how Autodesk Construction Cloud connects teams, workflows, and data. First, we are bringing teams and team members together, enabling easier collaboration from a single source of truth. Whether in the office or on the job site, everyone collaborates through connected devices. All of this is only possible through a strong, connected foundation. With Autodesk Construction Cloud, shared data allows assertive decision-making and enables predictive insights. Documents are shared, so work happens from a single source of truth, and all of this gathered data enables construction teams to better deliver and even predict business outcomes. Autodesk Build is part of the unified platform for Autodesk Construction Cloud that delivers a broad, deep, and connected set of field execution and project management tools for builders in a single platform. Autodesk Build provides an environment where information sharing and workflows are both tightly controlled and highly configurable. Here are a few of the more widely used capabilities within Autodesk Build. First, Autodesk Build provides one place where all team members have access to the right information anytime, anywhere. Markup tools allow teams to call attention to details on drawings or documents and share them with other team members. 2D drawings and 3D models can be navigated with ease on both the desktop and mobile. Next, included in Autodesk Build is a robust set of cost management capabilities purpose-built for construction teams. It helps improve cost control, provides real-time visibility into cost-related risks, and allows for more assertive forecasting. For example, teams can manage all aspects of the change order process, including logging and detailing all potential change orders, upstream budget requests for change orders, and supplier change orders. With RFIs in Autodesk Build, teams can reduce the risk of data loss and connect RFIs to other tasks across the project lifecycle. Users can create a new RFI on the web or mobile and then link it to markups and photos taken in the field. Those RFIs can be linked to issues, change orders, files, or photos for seamless collaboration. Project issues allow teams to access all design, quality, and safety issues from one place. Issues can be created on the exact location on 2D sheets or 3D models, even when offline. Detailed issue reports can also be easily shared, even with non-members. Lastly, when we talk about insight, we are referring to the capabilities that enable teams to visualize and analyze all of their project data. This is key for project teams to better understand where to prioritize attention. Ultimately, this improves decision-making for both individual project team members as well as executive leaders. Customizable and shareable dashboards allow teams to choose various cards from the card library, including Cintoo, Construction IQ cards, and other project analytics cards. With that, I'll hand things back over to you guys.
Thanks, Jeremy. So next, we'll bring up Dominique Pouliken, our CEO, who will discuss and give a brief introduction to Cintoo Cloud. Take it away, Dominique.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everybody. Thank you for participating to this webinar. Thank you to our partner, Autodesk, but also to SSOE team for making it a reality. So what Cintoo does, we live in the world of what we call digital twins, which are virtual, realistic, virtual replicas of as-built spaces, okay? And you need those kind of digital twins to run some what-if scenarios, to run some prototyping simulations. Now, this applies not only to Industry 4.0, where this term really started, but also now we apply it to BIM and construction. So next slide. The big difficulty we are facing today is that we live in very complex environments for which you may have the beginning of a 3D virtual representation, which is sometimes you have the beginning of it, sometimes you have nothing else than a blueprint. So there is a big gap here between the existing conditions on its virtual representation, and we fill this gap with reality capture. So reality capture now, if you take the landscape of all existing technologies, ranges from 360 cameras on a helmet up to expensive static laser scanners. And there are many manufacturers providing those technologies. You're all familiar with all those technologies. And say good news is there are many more devices to capture the as-built conditions. Less good news is that there is not a single device that meets all the requirements. Okay, depending on what you want to do with the data, being from a simple virtual walkthrough or simple, daily survey to a more complex comparison to a BIM model, you have to select a range of devices that could be passive or active devices. And the goal for us, of course, at Cintoo is to be, I have this multimodal approach to the reality capture. So being able to cover all those use cases and also stay hardware agnostic. Next slide. So in most cases in the world we live in, people would use laser scanning. You're all familiar with laser scanning. This laser scan data will produce a point cloud. The point cloud is a very deterministic set of 3D dots in space with accuracy that can range from a few millimeters for static scanners to a few centimeters for mobile scanners. But this data is very heavy. Think about it. For a single factory, you need at least 5,000 to 6,000 scan positions to cover the entire facility, and that will end up with a few terabytes of point cloud data. So it was until now it was very difficult to share and collaborate on such heavy, massive data, and this is a problem we are solving with Cintoo. So we position Cintoo really as a convergence of reality capture and digital twins. We invented a new technology that will take those point cloud data, turn them into a very high resolution 3D mesh. And by doing this point cloud to mesh transformation, we do not impact the source data accuracy or resolution, but we do compress the data in a ratio of 10 to 20 times. So we do this point cloud to mesh transformation prior to the upload to the cloud. And once the data is in the cloud as a mesh, we can then stream it very fast in a web browser. I would say the same way Netflix would stream high resolution videos. So we do this and we do it nicely. And we can also do the inverse transformation, the mesh back to the point cloud. Next slide. So this technology is embedded in a platform called Cintoo Cloud. You may be familiar with it, or this is a platform that will make your laser scan data or your reality capture data, globally speaking, fully cloud compatible. By making it cloud compatible, we make it collaborative, usable, shareable, distributable. Most important is that the mesh-based viewer will really democratize access to this trustful information. So we are talking about any people that has that needs to access these virtual sites to make like a simple measurement can now do that very easily. And they don't need to be an expert surveyor or an expert in navigating 3D point cloud. So Cintoo Cloud runs on Amazon, on Azure. You even have the choice to select the region where your data will be hosted. And as a company, we're also SOC 2 Type 2 certified, which means we are the highest level of cybersecurity standards for SaaS platforms. Next slide. This is the way it works. So we say, as I said, we're hardware agnostic, multimodal platform. So you will bring the data as either a 57, RCP, FLS, soon adding LAS as well. We will do this local transformation, point cloud to mesh. So everything uploaded to the class will be mesh-based. When it comes to distributing the data, you can either do that as a point cloud, and you will retrieve your source data information, being a structured scan or unstructured scan, point cloud or unstructured point cloud. You can also download the data as a unified 3D meshes, being OBJ, STL, FBX. And when it comes to connecting to Autodesk Construction Cloud, we do it cloud to cloud, of course, using the Forge platform. We would then pull models in various formats, being IFCs, Revit, Navisworks, DWG, JT files as well. This is where when you need to compare your existing conditions, being the scan data, to the BIM model, and then eventually detect issues. And then those issues can be pushed back to Autodesk Construction Cloud, or you can also export that as a PDF or BCF file, which means BIM collaboration format, or you can also share the viewer. So this is how it works. So we serve those various Industry 4.0 or BIM on construction companies with basically 3 value propositions. First one is everything hosting, managing, sharing, viewing your reality capture data with using this mesh-based viewer, which makes your data much easier to view and interpret by non-experts. And this is value proposition number 1. Number 2 is the one in the middle, when you need to compare your as-built conditions or your existing conditions with your BIM or CAD model, eventually to detect issues and make the right decisions. And this is what we do for everything in the BIM and construction, but also in the digital twin industry. On the one on the right-hand side is everything around asset management, how you can use your laser scan data to geolocate, tag, classify your equipment inside your facilities, and then eventually connect this viewer to your IoT platform or your digital twin platform. So we are being used by more than 400 companies now worldwide in 40 countries. They've been uploading a lot of scans, or almost 3 million scans now, representing almost close to 3 to 4 billion square feet of data. So this is a very robust, reliable platform that you can use to scale your business. So now I will go through a quick demo of the platform. This demo has been recorded to avoid any issue with the internet bandwidth. So first thing I will do is log in. You can also log in with your SSO information. This is what you see first. It's your typical dashboard. First thing you can see is access to your projects. Your projects are those projects that you created yourself or that you have been invited to. Projects will then be displayed either as thumbnails like that, or you can also display those projects on the map. There is, with our monetization policy, there is no limit in the number of projects you can have in this platform. So this is showing the projects in the map as well. Just to show you this capability, when you create a new project, of course, you select your account or your plan, but also you can select the data center where this data will be hosted. And here you have the choice of the provider, being Amazon or Azure, and have the choice of a region as well. This is giving you a lot of flexibility. So let's see one of those projects. I will be selecting here this project provided by SSOE. Thank you, Mark and David here. This is a typical project that has various layers of information, being a 2D drawings, CAD, and scan. So this is a typical scan data. This is a Faro data, 10 million points per scan. You can see that as a 2D picture, but what we did, when you click on Play 3D, this will open the 3D viewer. You can navigate within your panoramic images, a very typical workflow for navigating your scan data. But what we did as well with this unique technology, we turned this information into a 3D mesh model. Okay, so we can either use one of those 3D shaders. This is the one we call 3D surface that will really show you the quality of your point cloud information in a very different way. We display surfaces instead of points. And when you zoom in, as you can see here, we will stream even more levels of details until you see the final resolution of the scanner. So the higher the resolution you scan with, the higher the density of the mesh. And it's all about streaming. So the reason why we can display huge meshes from the cloud in this simple viewer with no plugin to install. And of course, if you have color in your scans, you can also have color on your mesh. And also what you do, if you enable TurboMesh, you can also navigate in your 3D space. So not being in a scan position, but it be in any position with the same mesh quality. And this is very unique. We call it this capability TurboMesh. It will stream meshes from various scans at a very high resolution. And then when you move from a scan position to a 3D navigation, you should not see any big difference with the mesh quality. This is a very unique feature. Instead of viewing your scan data as a point cloud, you've seen as a mesh, because the world is made of surfaces. The world is not made of points. Okay, but let me come back to the surface mode. This is a mode you will use to make measurements, for example. You have various measurement tools. This is a measurement constrained by the z-axis. You pick up any point here, you pick up any other point on the ceiling, and then you save the measurement. It will be saved with the context. You can also display or not all these icons corresponding to all the measurements, annotations you have in the viewer. Now you can also use the annotation tool, create an annotation, select a 3D point in your scan or in your model, and add it, attach it to an issue or a note or a private note to it. We have these three types of annotations. Give it a title, labels, set a severity parameter, add any other metadata. And then you will be able to export that as in various formats, being PDF or BCF, etc. So this is going now to the root of the project. The root of the project will show you various layers of information. We have here a site map, which is Google Earth view. We have 2D drawings. We have 3D CAD models, being a Navisworks model. And of course, we have the scan data. And you see on the left-hand side, you can toggle on, off various layers of information. This is also giving you a lot of flexibility. Let me remove the site scan here, the site map here. You see here 2D and scan data only. It's your choice then to add again the BIM model. Then the BIM model will be added to your view. And then eventually what you can do is go to one of the scan location and see, compare your existing condition to the new model that will be installed in this area. So this is the 2D panoramic image, but switching to 3D RGB, here you have scan data and BIM model. And we have a tool that will allow you to play with, the transparency of both. You select, you want to compare scans to models, and you use a tool called Visual Check Tool, and you take your slider to the left that will give you the existing conditions, so the scan data as a mesh, and you put the slider to the right, it will take you to the BIM model. So you can really easily compare scan and BIM using this way. Okay. Now going further, we just let me switch to another project to show you a new capability we have now inside Cintoo. We added a complete BIM viewer inside Cintoo Cloud. We call it the BIM and CAD module. It has been a month ago. We are still working on it, to be honest. We have optimizing performances as we speak. So this is a BIM model that was uploaded from Autodesk Construction Cloud, directly cloud to cloud. And what we did, this is a Navisworks model. What we did, we uploaded the model together with all the hierarchy and metadata. Okay, so you can go in the Resource Explorer, double click on the model, and you see that we have all the information, all the hierarchy of the model has been uploaded, all the disciplines, all the model elements. You can click on one of those floors, for example. You can isolate this floor from the rest of the model. And then you see on this floor, there are various, BIM elements. You can go down to each element. And for example, here in this case, have the corresponding properties being displayed as well. So everything taken from the BIM model is now within Cintoo. And this will be very useful when you need to do your analysis or your comparison to your scan model. So let me add now the scans corresponding to this level. Okay, so displaying the scan now, going into one of the scan position, moving to 3D RGB or 3D surface. You see your scan and, okay, scan and BIM. You can select any element inside your BIM model from the Resource Explorer. Also, what you can do is pick a model element inside your viewer directly, okay, like this beam here, and get the properties for it eventually, and also detect some issues that you may have with this between this model element on your scan data. Okay, so then what you can do is selecting another element here. And this is really an interesting feature. I really encourage you to test it, upload your BIM model again with this hierarchy and model elements, and then you can have a very fine analysis. What you can do, of course, is use a comparison tool, compare scans on models. And we have this other tool called the Visual Diff tool that will automatically create a heat map. Everything green is a good match between your scan on your BIM model. Everything red is data that is not in your BIM model. For example, here, you will see that this BIM element, some BIM elements are missing in this model. A last feature I wanted to highlight is everything around user management on access. So you can have a list of users, group them, give them some roles that come with permissions. And when you invite users to a project, this is when you would assign them either to a project or a complete or single work zone with the right permission. So we really do a good job at managing access to the data, eventually limiting access to various areas or various data that you have in your project. For example, here I will go to the 3D view. No, I think we started the video again. We can stop it here. At this stage, I would like to leave it to Mark and David for the SSOE presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Dominique. And oh, go ahead, Rob. Oh, no. Okay. So again, thanks. My name is Mark LaBelle. I do the kind of lead the research or the innovation side of new technologies within SSOE. And David Kuiper will also be talking a little bit more on a specific case study as the VDC technical leader within SSOE and really helping with our reality capture efforts going forward. All right, next slide. So SSOE, a little bit about us, just to kind of paint the backstory of why you'll see these two partners we've been talking a lot about with Autodesk and Cintoo. But we are a global organization. Our mission is to deliver unparalleled client value that advances the AEC industry. A lot of the work that SSOE does, we do it in, let's say, most of the industries we work in they create products that most people within the United States, Mexico, Canada, and even throughout the globe, throughout the world do touch and interact with on day-to-day experiences. So we kind of take a lot of pride within the SSOE organization on working with a lot of these industrial clients and designing these factories of the future. We have a little bit over 1,200 employees in 19 offices. And really, you can say the way that we're working these days is we really almost have 1,200 different offices, depending on the day, because a lot of individuals do work in a very hybrid environment. So you'll see why these cloud technologies are with us. So next slide, please. So with the ACC and BIM 360 side, which Jeremy spent some time talking about why there's a value proposition there, SSOE was looking at, prior to the pandemic, a major cloud shift, right? Where a lot of our tools were on-premise, generally consolidated to have similar functionality across offices, but we had a lot of challenges with shipping data across said offices. So really, we were looking at the BIM 360 ecosystem as early as 2017. But we were really stress testing it through the 2018, 2019, and going through a project planning stage. In January of 2021, through the pandemic, we had went live. So every new project that we started within our system was actively and automatically put into BIM 360. So we have a lot of automation on the back end, pushing all of our ERP data, right, which is our basically finance, operations, HR data, into this system to set up projects for us, so no humans have to do that. If a lot of you know, right around said time, Autodesk also released the Autodesk Build platform. A lot of people do refer to it as ACC. So right at that time we were going live with BIM 360, we were also reviewing and hearing news that this ACC system came out. So we quickly, as an organization, pivoted over the course of 2021 and started doing some stress testing and planning on how to use that system, because it had a lot of great tools, like Jeremy said, with the plan grid integration and a lot of the other acquisitions that Autodesk has done over the past 5 years. So by the time we were at the end of last calendar year, right around this time last year, we were already putting the plans in place to go live for all new projects in the ACC or the Autodesk Build system by May 31st of this year. So within 18 months of rollout of BIM 360 as our main platform for all new projects. We had already switched to the ACC system because a lot of the back-end tools really are the same. The user experience for our engineers and architects are the same. A couple other stats is our internal users with the system. We have 1,105 internal users at SSOE that use this system on a daily basis, and we have 2,736 external users. So we're not just using this for internal collaboration, but also to work with our owners, our general contractors, subcontractors, equipment vendors, many different roles in there. So we have a very rigorous templating structure, and the next slide will kind of do a very similar look at with what we're doing with Cintoo. So again, we were looking at Cintoo prior to the pandemic. It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction as a result of everybody working at home. This was in our long-term data strategy for the organization. We do treat Cintoo a little bit different in the fact that it's not managed by projects. We manage it by sites. So what our kind of our theory here is we work for these clients over and over and over again, and we're trying to help them create, as Dominique said, an industrial digital twin, right? We're building laser scanning, let's call it as-built or repository for them, so that even though these projects might cross over different areas functionally in those buildings, we can easily go there and not have to worry about, again, it's tied up in one project folder structure and not another one. So we were testing this really early on with Dominique and the Cintoo team in 2019. And we did a go live for all new projects, again, all new projects in 2020. So we had already been stress testing it for a year and felt really confident in the technology being the mainstay for all of our reality capture data within the SSOE system. Again, much like the Autodesk Construction Cloud system, we have 598 internal users. Not all of our projects are renovation, but a good portion are. So that's, anywhere from designers to engineers, architects, project managers, estimators. They're all doing it, and our accounts are authenticated, as Dom mentioned, with a single sign-on or SSO. And again, we do have a higher amount of external users because of the collaboration this allows, right? We have laser scanning vendors that are coming into our system and uploading the data directly to us. We have our own teams doing the laser scanning data collection as well. We have owners in there, again, general contractors, et cetera. And as mentioned at the top there, we are using and synchronizing between the Autodesk Construction Cloud system. So models and issues are synced between those two. Next slide. So this is kind of our guiding principle within the organization at SSOE, is we have to have a North Star. So in the green kind of ecosphere, that's our design tools. And those are the systems that we're standardizing as our platform going forward. And they have great tight integrations in between them. And that's why we have done this, is from our design standpoint, Autodesk tools, which includes the Autodesk Construction Cloud, and Cintoo. From the productivity suite, Teams, SharePoint, Office, Power BI, it's all Microsoft. And then even getting into the orange color or the brownish color in the upper right, Dynamics, which is a Microsoft tool, and a couple of the other integrators from the HR and payroll side of things. So again, our general purpose is consolidation. You can't move data easily between systems if you have a lot of disparate functionality, as mentioned by Jeremy earlier. And this has been a guiding principle for us for many years. And we're glad to show you some of this with the case study David's going to talk about here in the next couple of slides. So David.
Thank you, Mark. We had a project with a longstanding industrial partner that was a decommissioning and complete install of a 6-story process tower. Rob, if you want to start the video, that'd be great. A lot of the tools I'm going to show here are basic tools that Dom showed in his presentation. So this project here was originally scanned in an existing state in 2019, and then scanned again in mid-2020, and then also scanned after the design was completed and imported in Cintoo. It was scanned as kind of an as-built condition mid-construction, where there's a $200 to $300 million total project cost, and almost every pipe and fitting was pre-manufactured offsite. We were provided with vendor models to import into our system, and the contractor started to have some problems and issues with install at certain points. So we use Cintoo with this visual analysis tool to basically show the owners and stakeholders and designers all to be able to collaborate to see what the problem was, whether it was an install problem, design problem, etc. So we use this tool pretty effectively to show everybody in all around the world in different places the existing environment. So Rob, if you want to go to the next slide, this was the model comparison that we used, same environment, same area, to show the owners and stakeholders the differences between the installation and design. This tool is really effective to see how the design fit to construction. So we ran through the meetings with them, and I'm just showing all the things that Dom showed now. So great analysis tool for a quick visualization for the whole team to see. This is really effective for the next point, for the next model, Rob, the next video, to actually mark the issues into ACC. And Dominic went over this a little bit. You can assign the issues. This is going to go through the entire life cycle of assigning issues to a particular person, and you update it and you bring it into the ACC platform so that it shows up on the ACC end. This was very helpful because all of our design was in the ACC, and the collaboration that all the teams had in ACC, as Mark demonstrated, was visible to anybody who wanted to show it to. So we marked a couple of issues and brought it into ACC.
And in this particular issue, David, that view you were showing was the installed piece of equipment, and those were the shop drawing models, correct? Where the nozzles were completely kind of shifted off, right? That was a huge in terms of prefabrication potential issues, right?
Correct. Thank you, Mark. That was I jumped in this project a little bit late in the life cycle of the project, so Mark was a little more involved than I was. So yes, these valves the connection points were drastically different from what the manufacturer said they were going to be. So you mark those issues, and this is showing how you integrate from Cintoo and publish it out to ACC. It's very quick. It takes a few seconds. You see that the logo is blinking there. It means it's syncing. And when it turns solid, after a few seconds, it's fully into ACC. And I'll show, you can go into the issues in your Autodesk build and refresh your screen. And in real time, anywhere in the world, those 3 issues that I published will show up. The really nice thing to kind of close the loop on this from the ACC to Cintoo collaboration is it creates a URL that you can copy and paste. Anybody in the world with access to the projects can copy and paste it here and bring it to the exact point in the Cintoo project so that you can see the visualization of it. And as Dominic said, you can also publish it as a PDF, and it kind of brings you back to close the loop on that. So it's a very, very helpful tool for everybody to see and collaborate, and you can assign the issues and get those resolved. So the last video here, Rob, is a little bit of the model selection and the syncing from ACC. This is our model, Navisworks model that we have brought in from ACC. You can see it's version 1595. So there's been a few revisions to it. Any day you can go in and refresh that view to republish any changes that were performed in ACC into your Cintoo. So it's a real time, it's not a dead model anymore. So the other thing that was recently introduced is the model selection tool, which the most useful thing to us, other than the sorting out of the model, especially with a project of this size, is the metadata that's transferred from the native model that came in, whether it be, in this case, a Navisworks model. So all the metadata down there on the right-hand side is the information that's been transferred into the Cintoo site. So that's about all I have. I think we are going to open it up to some questions and answers if anybody has anything.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you guys talking about your use cases using Construction Cloud, Autodesk Construction Cloud, and Cintoo Cloud. I got one question here for SSOE. So how do you guys handle clients who don't want to use external clouds?
I should be off mute, correct? And that is actually we've had to work with those particular clients directly with partners like Cintoo and Autodesk, and we've had to go through let's call it SOC compliance and different kind of security checks. But every time that comes through, it's only a minor blip in the radar in terms of the timing of the project, right? If you're talking a large capital project, 3 to 5 years, it might be a month or two, or maybe 3 months of negotiations back and forth. But we've been able to get all of our clients, and we work for some very, very security conscious clients out there into our construction cloud. So many years ago, that used to be a problem for the organization. A lot of clients didn't have that flexibility, but in today's day and age, all the clients themselves put everything in either Amazon Web Services or Azure Web Services. So it really doesn't, I think, concern the IT folks as much as it used to, I would say. So it was tough 4 years ago, but not anymore. Hopefully that answers that question.
Yep, I think it does. Another question, another one for you, Mark, is how many scan locations are in your Cintoo hub?
Our current contract has us at 50,000. I know we're a little bit less than that right now, but we keep pushing up. But we're also, some projects we will archive too. So we don't keep everything up there forever. Depends on the needs for the client, if they're a one-time client versus repeat.
I have another question for you, Mark and David. What's the learning curve? You say you have a lot of users, being internal, external users using Cintoo Cloud. How do you have like a training session, or is it how do you engage with those guys on using Cintoo Cloud?
Yeah, we have. Oh, go ahead, David.
Okay, a lot of it's sort of one-on-one training, but most of the users internally and externally are familiar with programs such as, previous Autodesk products, right? Navisworks, Recap, and those kind of things. And the functionality is really the same, but combining the two areas. So it's a pretty simple training. A lot of our model managers and some of the staff have some more complex training on it, but for the simple project manager, it's a fairly intuitive tool for a quick training. Of course, the training modules that pop up as you go through for the first time are helpful. So,
okay, excellent. Thank you very much. I had a question about that's more for us Cintoo, about monetization. Just to be clear, what we do monetize, as exactly as Mark was saying, is your scans capacity. I mean, how many scans would you subscribe to, being for whatever number of projects? So you can start small. Smallest subscription we have is 500 scans. You can go up higher, many tens of thousands of scans, of course. And this is how it works. And this is for unlimited users. So please invite as many users as you can, as many users as you want. But of course, we do manage with these roles and permissions the type of access you may have to the data. And this is also for unlimited projects. So you may spread your scan capacity over 1 project, 10 projects, 100 projects. Doesn't matter. Okay, and so far it's also for unlimited BIM models uploaded to the platform. So I hope it clarifies this point.
Yeah, Dominic, there's one other question I see here around, we didn't get too detailed about it, but user roles and permissions.
Yes, absolutely. So with various presets, like a BIM manager can do everything, like upload data, download data, invite team members, organize the data in what we call folders or work zones, etc. this is the highest rank, or you can go down to a viewer only. In this case, a person will be only able to view the data. Eventually, he or she will be invited to a single work zone, so you can really limit access to the data as much as you want. Okay, and also, of course, you can create your custom roles. If you want to create your own custom roles, this is possible. I had a question but this is more from me to you, Mark and David. We are hearing a lot about, enabling digital twin workflow through reality capture, which what we do on the Cintoo's mission is really this one. What about, we're hearing a lot people talking about industrial metaverse. Is it something you start considering as well in your discussions with your customers?
I think a lot of the interest we're seeing, Dom, to be honest, is on definitely the asset side and being able to connect data from reality capture systems into the design data as well as the servicing data, right, of those components, whether it's a pump or it's an air handling unit. The metaverse is such a strange thing. It seems like it comes up as like everybody's interested, but nobody knows how to talk about it between even us as a company as well as our clients. We all look at it, we're like, it looks cool, but don't know a direction yet.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, the connection of data between the systems, we're all really interested. And definitely some of our clients are starting to draft some plans around how to make that better, because they care about it big time because of their, how they manage their assets and their building going forward for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. Well, I can understand that. We're having a lot of discussions on there is always a confusion between what is a BIM model or CAD model, what's the difference with a digital twin model, and what now is the difference with a metaverse experience, you see. So the way I try to explain that is that a digital twin is a BIM or CAD model with, I say, IoT information on top of it. So it's a living model that will collect, that is cloud, that is connected to the real world, and that eventually will collect, sensor information. So that's digital twin is adding a layer of IoT information on top of a CAD or a BIM model. And then metaverse is it's a digital twin with human in the loop. Okay, when you need to experience or have immersive or collaborative experiences in those connected environments, this is what we call a metaverse experience. So I would say the digital twin, the BIM model or the CAD model is a foundation for your digital twin, where the digital twin will enable your metaverse experiences. So I hope it makes some sense. But this is a way we try to define the various stages of going after some industrial metaverse experiences. Anyway, I think I have no more questions. Rob, do you have more?
I think that is it. I would say if you're for more information, you can always reach out to us at sales@cintoo.com or visit us on our website at www.cintoo.com. Once again, I would like to thank our guest speakers, Jeremy Wallen with Autodesk, Dominic Pulkin with Cintoo, Mark LaBelle and David Kuiper from SSOE. Appreciate you guys, the time you put together to present to our prospects out here. I think it was very informative, and looking forward to more of these discussions in the future. Thanks again, everyone, for your time. And this will be posted to our website later, so you can review it if you want to pass it along to other people. Thanks again.